How you're living better than me, snorted the ex-husband who had abandoned his wife and his sick son. But upon hearing her words, before beginning the story, leave a comment below telling us from which city you are watching. Enjoy the story. Anna suddenly jumped out of bed, pulling her hand away from the grumpy Carlos. She immediately ran out of the bedroom and entered the room of their little son, Miguel, who was sitting on his pillow, desperately trying to breathe. "Calm down, my little one," she whispered, horrified, searching for the inhaler on the nightstand. "Here, breathe. Everything will be okay." Miguel took a deep breath when his mother pressed the inhaler for a few seconds. The child didn't breathe, but then, to Anna's great relief, his breathing normalized. "What happened?" the woman asked, almost stroking her son's head and hugging him. "Were you scared?" "Yes, Mommy," sobbed the child. "Always keep the inhaler right by your pillow when you go to sleep, okay? We'll talk about this. I can't stand it if something happens to you." And now the irritated voice of Carlos came from the door. "How much longer will you keep going, Carlos?" Anna turned around. "How can you say that? No one is to blame for our son's asthma. Now he and we have to live with it." "It's not a big deal. You're going to rush to him every night," grumbled the husband. "I'm fed up. He's not a baby anymore. He should learn to use the inhaler on his own." She was scared. "I wish you were like if you were 5 years old and had an attack. Well, lie down with us. Is that what you want? Get out of here." Anna narrowed her eyes. "Why are you saying all this in front of our son?" Carlos glared at her, but left his son's bedroom. "Mommy, Daddy is angry with me," whispered the child fearfully. "No, my little sunshine, Daddy just didn't sleep enough. He's just angry with himself. Lie down now and don't be afraid, okay? If you have difficulty breathing again, press here. I'll leave the inhaler right next to you so you don't have to look for it, okay?" "Okay, Mommy," sobbed Miguel. "All right, now go to sleep." Anna kissed her son and left the room. Carlos was not in the bedroom. The woman took a deep breath and pulled down the blanket, unable to fall asleep. She heard her husband making noise in the kitchen, clearly with no intention of returning. Why is he reacting like this? After all, he is our son. Any normal father would be the first to run if his son had difficulty breathing. Since Miguel was diagnosed, Carlos has completely changed. Sometimes he was constantly worried about him, other times he simply ignored him. The child has a disease, yes, incurable but not fatal. Millions live with asthma. Only a few months have passed since they realized Miguel has it, and he is barely learning to use the inhaler. I don't understand Carlos. Yes, it's unpleasant when the wife gets up every night, but if my intuition wakes me up, I'll stay lying down while my son is choking. Soon he will learn to use it himself. It's not a tragedy. Thank God it's not cancer or some incurable disease. Carlos returned about 30 minutes later. Anna heard, through her drowsiness, how he was lying down, breathing heavily. She didn't say anything. "Listen, Anna, I can't go on like this," Carlos unexpectedly began the conversation. After returning from a family outing, Miguel went to his room to play, and she began preparing dinner. "What do you mean?" He looked at her confused. "Really, you don't notice anything? Don't pretend." Anna stared at her husband's dissatisfied face. He tried to avoid her gaze, looking into the distance. "Carlos, tell me directly. What's wrong? You're constantly unhappy, scolding me and Miguel." "Yes, I realize it," he replied. "I notice your constant complaints, criticisms for nothing, negativity toward our son. Is that what you're talking about? I'm fed up. You only see the bad in me, and you're better. You don't pay attention to me. You don't take care of yourself. It's always just about Miguel. But you wanted a child, didn't you? Or am I missing something?" "Exactly, I wanted a child. I wanted to raise a real man. And what do we have? He climbs a hill and gets out of the breath. He can't run. You always have to make sure the inhaler is on hand. It's not a walk in the park. It's taking care of a disabled person. What will he become? You're crazy. He has to be some kind of athlete. What do you want from the boy? Just physical endurance? So he gets out of breath? Thank God the disease was diagnosed early. The attacks will lessen over time. Or did you want to send him to the Olympics? For your information, almost all Norwegian wrestlers are asthmatic, and, by the way, they have most of the gold medals. He's being dumb. He's our son. Carlos, are you serious? Of course I'll take care of him more than anyone. Carlos remained silent for a long time, throwing angry looks at his wife. His cheeks trembled. Anna was even scared. No, her husband had never raised his hand to her, but now his behavior was strange and terrifying. Just keep taking money from me, she finally managed to say. When are you going to get it done? A family is a team effort, but it turns out I earned the money and you don't even appreciate me. Wait a minute, Anna interrupted her husband. What do you mean we keep taking money from you after Miguel was born? You yourself said I shouldn't work and that I should take care of raising him, right? And keep in mind I was against it, but you insisted. Well, if you want, I'll find a job, I'll send Miguel to daycare, or we'll hire a nanny. But what will that change? Then you'll accuse me of not taking care of the house, of not preparing a 3-course meal. You decide if you want a housewife or another provider in the family. You can't have both. We'll hire a housekeeper for that. No problem. Oh, no problem? So you're willing to pay a stranger approximately the same amount I would be earning, and sending our son to daycare isn't free either. It's illogical. What will my role be as the provider? So you've looked at yourself, you've gained weight, you haven't even put on makeup once. It's disgusting to look at you if you're going to work. Maybe it'll be nice to see you again. Tears welled up in Anna's eyes. Her husband's words deeply hurt her. He had never criticized her appearance before. Yes, she had gained a few extra pounds and had forgotten about makeup. But where would she wear it? To go out with her son, and when she barely has time to clean the house, cook, take care of the child, and then Carlos comes back from work. Why are you so silent now? You're crying too. It makes no sense to try to make me feel sorry for you, Anna. I'm telling you clearly, our marriage no longer satisfies me. I married a different woman, and now there's nothing left of her. You're obsessed with the boy. Miguel is everything and I'm nothing. And with this asthma, he's not terminally ill. Don't confuse things. You don't need to treat him like a fragile vase, she said. I'm telling you right now, if you don't reconsider, you won't get a ball and you won't take care of yourself again. I'll just leave. The woman blinked stupidly. Anywhere, really? You're so stupid. I don't need this circus. I want to see a happy wife and a healthy son by my side, not all this. Carlos, haven't you thought that a woman is a reflection of her man? And if I'm unhappy, even though that's not actually the case, the reason is you. You're accusing me of not taking care of myself. Do you think it's nice for me to ask you for money every time I go to the store? I don't even remember the last time I bought myself a nice dress. You calculate the budget down to the last penny, or what do you expect? To look stunning in this down jacket? You yourself say to buy only dark clothes that don't stain so it's convenient to go out with the boy. When I asked you for a suit, what did you say? Where are you going with that? It matters where. I also want to look good, but keep in mind that requires money. Let's say I visit the beauty salon every week. What's the problem? But you'll say it's expensive. You want to see an impressive woman by your side who satisfies all your whims with just a snap of your fingers. But you do nothing about it. That's why I'm telling you, get a job and you'll have money for your whims. It's logical. As a husband, I'm supposed to provide for our family, not just for you specifically. I already pay for all these household things, our vacations, the car, the apartment. Do you have any idea how much all this costs? I don't understand you, Anna said angrily. You yourself prohibited me from working, and now you demand that I urgently find a job. Who's going to hire me now after being home for 5 years? You're an accountant who works from home. What's the problem? There are plenty of jobs like that. Now you have experience, even though a lot of time has passed. Anna understood. I want the best for you. I don't want you to drown completely in these household tasks. Look for vacancies already. It's enough to sit at home. Miguel is no longer a baby. He doesn't need your constant attention. Carlos, tell me honestly, Anna reflected. Have you stopped loving me? No, not even that. Have you ever loved me? There you go again. That's irrelevant. I just want a determined woman by my side, not a housewife who has gone crazy scrubbing floors. I don't care about spending money, but you should also have some independence. Or do you like being a nobody? What did you say, Anna? She blushed. A nobody. Just how you see me now, I understand. You just got tired. You thought a family was all easy and simple, and that the wife would always be a busy beauty for nothing. Why don't you take Miguel for a walk yourself, even just once? You don't care at all. I give money. Money isn't care, it's your duty to provide for your son until he grows up. Or what did you think? Just watch him grow healthy and happy without giving him anything. I feed him and dress him. What else? And you live in my apartment. You're an idiot? Anna finally lost her patience. Don't you even understand what you're saying? Well, fine, but Miguel is your son. You shouldn't even have those kinds of thoughts. Not only are you insulting me with your words, but you're also showing that you don't care about the boy. Carlos, what's going on? Do you want to leave me? Don't say nonsense. I'm just angry. Control your words. You're acting like a spoiled child whose toy broke and the parents refused to buy a new one. In fact, I've noticed your attitude has sharply deteriorated right after Miguel was diagnosed. But I'm telling you again, asthma is not a death sentence. Yes, you need to learn to live with it, but it's nothing terrible. And even though you're really angry about this, what does that mean? It means you can only love a healthy child, but if he's sick, you want to give him back. Not at all. It just terribly bothers me that for the past 6 months, you've been getting up every night to listen if the boy's choking. What's wrong with that? That's my duty. Miguel is still little. He might not find the inhaler and have an attack. It can happen anytime, but you wake me up. I don't sleep enough and I'm tired from work. I want to at least have some peace and rest at home. It's enough. I can't keep listening to this nonsense. You're acting like a completely selfish person. Carlos, I don't understand what's happening to you. It's like I'm talking to a stranger. I need to prepare dinner, see to something, rest since you're probably so tired. I'm definitely tired of hearing these incomprehensible complaints. Carlos stood up and looked firmly at his wife. He wanted to say something more, but decided not to and silently left the kitchen. It would be nice if you took the boy to the sea at least a couple of times a year. Such trips at a young age can minimize the number of attacks, said the elderly mustached doctor. And the sooner you start practicing seaside vacations, the better. Okay, I'll tell my husband, Anna nodded after leaving the clinic. She sat Miguel in the high chair, buckled him in, and after closing the door, looked around. The snow had almost melted. Spring had arrived early this year. Strange puddles sparkled on the asphalt, and the loud singing of birds almost deafened, announcing the imminent summer. The doctor had said that with the arrival of spring, there could be an exacerbation if they didn't take Miguel to the sea now. But she couldn't even imagine how to bring this up with Carlos. Lately, he had been so moody. It's one thing to be angry with me. Partly he was right. In fact, I stopped taking care of myself and spent all my time with our son. But why take it out on Miguel? It doesn't matter. A man's son should be the first priority, and if he's sick, many children live with cancer, heart defects, and numerous other serious diseases. Parents behave differently, doing everything they can to cope with the pain, alleviate the child's suffering, find treatments, money. But Carlos simply doesn't understand. Where does this hostility and rejection come from? He always seemed like a loving husband, and this only started recently. No, I won't mention the trip to the sea yet. If I had my own money, I wouldn't even ask. I just go. But even if I find a job now, I won't be able to go anywhere for at least 6 months. Although if I work remotely and save some money, we could go to the coast for the fall. In the meantime, I'll take Miguel for walks in the pine forest on our way home. Anna fed Miguel, sat him down to draw, and took the phone, scrolling through her contacts. She took a deep breath and dialed an old friend's number. Hello, Anna, is that you? A surprised female voice answered. Wow, it's been a long time since we've seen each other. Hi, honestly, I didn't expect to reach you. I thought maybe you had changed your number. Now what do I owe you? Just don't tell me you missed me, her friend laughed. No beating around the bush, responded Anna, embarrassed. You need employees? Well, that's news. You're not married, you've decided to go back to work. Yes, I'm bored of being a housewife. I realize that domestic life is consuming me. Miguel has grown. Why don't you go back to doing what I love, working with numbers? Why not? And a little extra money in the family piggy bank never hurts. As far as I remember, your husband had a pretty decent salary. It's not about the money, exclaimed Anna. I told you, I'm going crazy without work. Intellectual, then there's some option. Well, I'm not sure, Sophia hesitated. We always have work, but your call was so unexpected. We can't offer you a full-time position right now, but you could work remotely. What do you think? Tell me more. It really doesn't matter if I'm in the office or working from home. In fact, it's even more convenient so I don't have to send Miguel to daycare. I can give you an idea now, but we'll need to confirm with Mateo Arias. You're a good specialist, so I don't think he'll mind. Basically, the job is standard. You'll handle 3 or 4 companies. They'll send you all their accounting work. You'll review it, calculate it, and send it back. You'll install the software. You'll need to visit their offices a couple of times a month and do an audit each quarter. Does that work for you? Yes, I can, Anna replied happily. Discover everything and call me back, okay? Definitely, I'll go talk to Mateo right now. You called at just the right time. It's not easy to find a good accountant. As far as I remember, you always understood things quickly and never had problems. All right, I'll call you at the end of the day, okay? It was great to hear from you. Anna was radiant. I should tell Carlos, she thought when Sophia called her that night to inform her she needed to go to the office for an interview the next day. I think I won't say anything yet. I'll tell him later. After signing the contract, Anna prepared dinner and decided to surprise her husband. She put on makeup and chose a beautiful dress from her wardrobe. Yes, she sighed, looking at herself in the mirror. It wouldn't hurt to lose a little weight. I barely could close the zipper. Well, I'll work on that. Once I start working, everything will settle. Mom, you look so beautiful, exclaimed Miguel admiringly as he ran to his mother's room. Thank you, my sunshine. Anna kissed her son on the cheek. I'll dress up more often now to always keep Daddy in a good mood. Suddenly, Miguel became serious. Daddy doesn't love me anymore. What are you saying? The woman responded, surprised. Of course he loves you. You're his son. Then why is he always yelling, and why did he stop playing with me? Because I have trouble breathing. No, my little one, that's not it. Daddy has been having problems at work lately, and that's why he's angry. It's not because of us. Really, the child smiled. Really, his mother returned his smile. Everything will be like before soon, I promise you. Anna didn't believe it. Carlos had changed too much, but she hoped things could still be fixed if she did everything he said. When Carlos arrived home from work, Anna was waiting for him at a set table. She had also dressed Miguel and sat him next to her. What's so special? Growled her husband, looking at the table and his well-dressed wife and son. I just wanted to do something nice for you, dear. Anna smiled. We haven't sat together like this in a long time, so I thought it was a good idea. Carlos frowned. Anna, what's that dress you're wearing? Do you like it? The woman's eyes sparkled. Well, your figure isn't quite suitable for that kind of clothing anymore. Don't you realize? Anna stammered. Yes, it's a bit tight, but it's been a while since I wore something like this or updated my wardrobe. I'll do it soon. Let's not dwell on this now. Sit down and eat. Today I made your favorite roast. Carlos grumbled and sat at the table. You went overboard with the spices, complained her husband after tasting the roast. The meat is tough. Really? Anna was genuinely surprised. In her opinion, the dish had turned out splendidly today. She hadn't cooked anything like this in a long time, and even Miguel was devouring it eagerly, though he usually had a small appetite. You didn't taste it yourself. It's inedible. Anna was stunned, tears welling up in her eyes. Go ahead, cry a little more, her husband said disdainfully. Mommy, is something wrong? Miguel looked up from his food. No, honey, everything's okay. Don felt a knot in his throat. Did you finish eating? Yes, nodded the child. He was really good. Thanks. Go to your room for a while. I need to talk to Daddy and make coffee. We also have cake. The child smiled. I'll call you, honey. Anna patted his head and went. Now Miguel headed to his room. On his way, he tried to hug his father, but Carlos pulled away, which didn't go unnoticed by Anna. What are you doing? The tired woman asked once the child left the room. What are you doing? What is this farce? Pretending to be a loving wife, putting on makeup and dressing up in that clothes. You didn't even look at yourself in the mirror, and it's disgusting. Coming home tired from work to this, and besides, you're dragging our son into your act. Carlos, what's wrong? You're acting like a crazy person. I was trying to do something nice for you, and you immediately start a fight. If you didn't like something, you could have mentioned it calmly, especially not in front of the child. What are you hiding from him? Let him know his mother is useless. Children need to hear the truth. The truth. Then tell him yourself. The boy thinks you no longer love him. Do you think he made it up? He doesn't feel it deeply, and your behavior only confirms his fears. Who told you that? Carlos began to get angry. Miguel told me himself. How am I supposed to convince him otherwise? Miguel, Carlos roared and headed toward his son's room. Ana ran after him. Miguel, the man barked as he opened the door. The child was sitting on the floor playing with his building set. What's wrong, Daddy? The child innocently asked. What's this about you not loving me? Carlos grabbed his son's arm and began shaking it violently. Daddy, it hurts. You're not going to dare doubt me again. Understood? Your mother is feeding these ideas to you? Admit it. No, Daddy, the child whimpered. I don't love you. Carlos's eyes were full of fury as he shook his son's arm even harder. I bought you this whole building set. I didn't buy it, Carlos said. Stop it, Ana, she cried. You're hurting him. Let go of our son. He's my son, and you have no right to tell me how to raise him. Ana ran toward them to take the boy from her husband. Instinctively, Carlos pushed her, hitting her so hard that she backed up a meter. Miguel cried even louder. At that moment, he began having a severe asthma attack, gasping for air. Terrified, Carlos let go of his son's arm, leaving a red mark. Here we go again, he laughed. Take care of this sick child. I don't know where his inhaler is. With that, the man left the room without even trying to help Ana stand up. Ana quickly got up and began searching for the inhaler to help her son. She couldn't find the cartridge anywhere. Hold on, honey, hold on, she said, lifting the child into her arms. You need to calm down. She took him to the window and opened the shutters. The cold April air entered the room. But she wasn't worried about them getting cold. She held Miguel tightly. Ana, she asked, still scared. It's over now. Miguel nodded silently, then laid him down on the bed. Unfortunately, the inhaler was next to the pillow. Ana cursed under her breath. It's okay, honey. I'll be right back. The medicine is close. If you have trouble breathing again, use it immediately. Okay, Mommy, don't go back there, Miguel whispered through tears. Daddy is very angry. He scared me a lot. Ana gently examined the bruise starting to form. I don't know. I'll bring ice and stay with you. All right, the child shrugged. Ana left the room, softly closing the door behind her. 2 weeks had passed since the argument. Carlos had almost stopped talking to his wife and had completely withdrawn from Miguel. He hadn't even apologized for his behavior. Ana had gone through the job interview but decided not to tell her husband about it due to the recent circumstances. She worked in secret, taking advantage of the fact that he came home late and didn't notice anything. Ana quickly handled her work responsibilities. Initially, it was hard to get back into the flow of numbers, estimates, and invoices sent by her employers. But within a few days, she got the hang of it and was able to even create a schedule that clearly allowed her enough time for household tasks and her son. Then the day came when she had to go to one of her employer's offices for a review. She gathered Miguel and went outside, only to find her car wasn't in its usual parking spot. Confused, she was about to call the police to report the theft, but decided to inform Carlos first. Hello? Her husband responded abruptly. Carlos began. Ana, I'm hesitant. I was about to leave, and I don't know how to say this, but I went out and the car left. You used it and parked it somewhere else. He didn't respond. I sold it yesterday. What? You sold my car without my consent? Why would I need your consent? The car is registered in my name. And anyway, you don't need a car since you're always at home doing nothing. One car for the family is enough. Don't you even realize how much I pay for insurance and you pay the taxes? No, but why did you do it? Ana was on the verge of tears. I needed the money, so I sold it. But at least you could have told me you were going to do this. Why am I here feeling like a complete fool? And why did you need the money? If I may ask, that's none of your business. I don't have to account to you. Actually, yes, Anna raised her voice. I'm your wife, and actions like that should be discussed. We're not strangers. And where exactly did you think you'd go? Carlos abruptly changed the subject. I need to take Miguel to the hospital. Anna quickly lied. Take a taxi, she murmured. Carlos said, or the bus? The bus? You're crazy, Anna. He exploded. Normal buses. Thousands of people take them every day, and they're fine. You, Anna began, but quickly stopped and hung up. She quickly called a taxi to avoid being late to the office. She didn't want to fix her relationship now. Anger overwhelmed her. Anna didn't expect such behavior from Carlos. By the afternoon, she was prepared for a serious conversation. Carlos returned in a bad mood again. Carlos began peacefully, Anna, while his husband sat down to dinner. We need to talk about what? Don't ruin my appetite. I'm tired and I want to eat. All right, I'll step away for now. We'll continue when you finish. Anna turned on the TV and began changing the channel distractedly. Several thoughts were bouncing around her head, and resentment was literally overwhelming her. Where did I go wrong? I do everything for him. It seems the more I invest in this family, the worse it gets. This can't go on like this. Yes, many people live even worse, but I can't stand these daily insults any longer. And now he sold my car without even consulting me. Yes, technically it's his car and he can do whatever he wants with it, but he should show some respect to the person who lives under the same roof as him, especially now that I need to travel for work. Well, I'll manage, he replied. What did you want to talk about? Carlos entered the room showing extreme dissatisfaction on his face. Anna was surprised. She expected her husband to be friendlier after dinner. Carlos, just tell me clearly what you're trying to achieve regarding the car. Don't start that. It's resolved. I told you we urgently needed the money, and you're really not going anywhere. So it's not like you need your own car. I'm not going to judge you if it's necessary. It is necessary. I just wanted to know why you didn't tell me anything in advance. Do you think I'm completely stupid and wouldn't understand anything? I didn't want to hear all your hysteria. Do you mean you would have just agreed in silence? Well, I know perfectly how you would have reacted. I've always been understanding. You don't need to try to offend me now. Lately, you've humiliated me enough as much as you've been able, and you don't even realize how much you hurt me and our son. When was the last time you even talked to him? Miguel is suffering and you don't care at all. You're some kind of abnormal. Sincerely, listen, Carlos, she narrowed her eyes. Is there something you're not happy with? Yes, I'm not happy with everything, Anna said. I won't tolerate that treatment. I might not care much about myself, but you have no right to behave like this with Miguel. If you don't like something, then leave. Understood, Carlos responded rudely. You're useless anyway. You cook terribly. The house is always a mess. You're like a monster as a wife. Anna opened her mouth, understanding that everything her husband was saying was false. But why? What was his purpose in hurting her like this? Don't you like it when they call your attention? Well, what did you expect? I'm fed up with all this. You sit at home and can't even dust properly. Carlos, you've been demonstrative, pointing your finger at Domenica's face. The finger was absolutely clean, but that didn't affect her husband at all. See this? You have no shame. How can you allow the house to be so dirty? You don't want to work. You don't want to clean or cook. You just want everything handed to you on a silver platter. And you're obsessed with that useless son of yours. Go to hell, Anna screamed. No, honey, I'm not going anywhere. This is my apartment. You forgot that. And if you're so eager to get rid of me, where's the door? You're kicking me out. Anna was stunned. Why would I want a wife like you? It will be easier for me alone. Anna stood there, unable to move, thinking she had misunderstood, but Carlos's expression convinced her otherwise. I, the woman, regained composure. I'm going to file for divorce. Go ahead. Do you think I'm going to object? You've exhausted me. I married a completely different woman. I did everything for you, and you're just ungrateful. That's all. I don't want to hear anything else, Anna calmly responded. I don't see any sense in living under the same roof as someone who doesn't value you. But remember, you won't see our son anymore. "Oh," the man laughed. "I really don't need either of you. Just gather your things so your feet aren't here tomorrow. If I come back and you're still here, blame yourself." "Understood." Anna stood there stunned. Now she wanted to leave as quickly as possible to never see or hear from this person she once loved, who bore her a son, and with whom she tied all her dreams of peaceful family happiness. The door opened, and a worried woman was standing at the entrance, her hair carefully tied up. "Oh heavens, honey, what happened?" Anna asked, tightly holding her son's hand. "Mommy, Anna began, then burst into tears. "Why are you standing at the door? Come in quickly." Isabel gestured with her hands. "There are things." Her daughter looked back, confused. "What things?" "Our things. The car is parked downstairs. You left Carlos." Isabel's eyebrows slowly raised. "Yes," Anna sighed. "Or rather, he kicked us out." "What do you mean he kicked us out?" "He's gone crazy. It's a long story, Mom. For now, make Miguel comfortable in the apartment, and I'll tell the movers to start unloading your room." "Are you always ready for you, honey? Do you need help?" "I'll manage, thanks." "Why didn't you call? It all happened so suddenly. Anyway, I'll tell you everything. Just let me unload the car first, okay?" Of course. Anna went downstairs and made sure all belongings were unloaded from the car. There wasn't much, 4 large suitcases and some packages. The mover took everything to the elevator and helped carry the belongings to the landing. "Thank you so much, Anna," she smiled, handing him the money. "I'll take care of this. Feel free to call us." He nodded. Anna dragged the suitcases into the apartment. Good, she thought, looking at the items. Who would have thought that my entire life for the past 5 years would fit so easily into 4 suitcases? Mom will probably start crying now. "Well, the most important thing is that I won't have to see Carlos and endure all these humiliations anymore." "That's all?" Isabel exclaimed, surprised. "I should have also taken the furniture," Anna said. "I just took clothes, books, and Miguel's things. Carlos choked on them. I don't need anything from him." "Are you divorcing?" "Apparently, yes," Anna shrugged. "Well, let's go. Things won't escape. You can tell me everything on the way." Isabel hugged her daughter. "Well, dear, I never expected this. Your marriage seems strong." "He cheated on you," Isabel said. "That's the thing, he didn't." Anna smiled sarcastically. "I don't understand how we got to this. When Miguel got sick, Carlos changed, and in the last few weeks, he resorted to open insults, claiming I don't satisfy him. I cook poorly, I don't keep the house clean, I don't take care of myself, and I gave him a sick child. I don't know what I expected. You could even say he raised his hand against our son." Carlos hit Miguel. "Isabel is—" No, his daughter rushed to calm him down. She just grabbed him by the arm and shook him. "The mark barely disappeared recently. You should have reported him. Why would you just create more problems? It's enough that he kicked us out and left us with nothing. He sold my car. It's like he deliberately prepared so I couldn't claim anything from him later. But anyway, he'll have to pay child support. I don't need any alimony." "Mom, I swear I won't see our son anymore. I just hope he doesn't start actively harming us now." "Well, if he behaved like that, he should pay, especially for you. Maybe you don't need the money, but think about your son. Right now, my only concern is making sure the court doesn't leave Miguel with him, but now I have a job." "So a job?" Her mother was surprised. "Yes, for now it's remote work, but the pay is good. I've been working for 3 weeks, and it was Sophia who helped me get it. The funniest part is, I wouldn't have called her." Carlos began to say, "Miguel and I were practically taking away all your food. It wasn't appropriate for a wife to stay at home, but he himself prohibited me from working and refused to take our son to childcare. I can't imagine what happened to make him so angry. Maybe someone cast a spell on him," Anna reflected. Her mother looked at her reproachfully. "You and your superstitions again. What kind of spell?" "Just got tired of us. Played a little and got tired. It turned out to be too much. You underestimate magic. Do you remember our neighbor, Virginia Morales? She was cursed. Naturally, no doctor could diagnose her, and it was all because of the daughter-in-law who desperately needed her apartment." "How do you know all this?" "Well, they took Virginia to some witch who diagnosed her and pointed out the culprit. Then she performed a cleansing ritual, And imagine Virginia started to improve. She kicked the daughter-in-law out of the house and transferred the apartment to her youngest granddaughter. She'll think twice before messing with someone again. People will do anything for personal gain. And what does that have to do with my family? Maybe some jealous woman cast a spell on your Carlos. Think about it. There were no reasons for the fights, and suddenly he kicks his wife and little son out. If there's no logical reason, the only conclusion is magical influence. Anna looked at her mother seriously. There were reasons. They just weren't obvious, and I foolishly ignored everything. And most importantly, Carlos never loved me. He just feared admitting it to himself. So he slowly organized everything to make me start thinking about divorce. And you know what? He did quite well. From our joint property, we only had the car, which he quickly sold. The apartment belonged to him before the marriage, and we didn't have joint accounts. Well done. In a nutshell, I would still go to a fortune teller if I were you, Isabel commented. Why, it's done, Isabel shrugged. We'll just rebuild our lives now. He has shown his true nature. Do you think some witch can make me feel warm towards him again? Don't make me laugh. I'll never forgive him for what he did to our son. So the divorce is final. You decide. Of course, dear, I haven't been aware of your problems from the outside. Your partner has always been exemplary, and Carlos always treated me well, just as I treated him. He never refused to help. But if you say he mistreated Miguel, then it's your decision. I'll support you no matter what happens. After all, you are my flesh and blood, and it's good that you found a job. I haven't even told Carlos yet. Right now, he's probably sitting there thinking everything is bad for me and that I'll come crawling, begging for forgiveness. But he'll be in for a surprise. The only thing, Mom, I wanted to ask you for help is that sometimes I need to go to the office to drop off documents for reconciliation. Can you take care of Miguel during that time? She asked. Isabel laughed. I love that boy more than anyone in the world. Don't get offended, but we rarely used to see each other before. But for me, it was always like a celebration. I don't have much to do at home anyway. I work until noon, and then I get so bored that I can even take care of him until noon. If you ever need to work a full day, just let me know. He won't distract me at all. Sometimes students come for translations. I'm giving private lessons now, but they generally come later in the afternoon after their lessons or on weekends. I see you're not wasting time. Money is always useful, although I have enough from my widow's pension. They pay quite well to the widows of officials these days. But the main thing is that I don't get bored and my brain doesn't stagnate. I'm really afraid of dementia, you know. Anita, from apartment 17, her dementia turned an intelligent woman into an old crazy lady in just a couple of years. Anna looked at her mother attentively. Stop telling scary stories about the neighbors. You're still young. What dementia are you talking about? She's only 52 years old. If I were you, I'd find a man. You're so beautiful. I know you had admirers even when Daddy was alive. I'll be faithful to him forever, dear. You're the young people of today who have this concept of freedom. But I loved Rogelio, and I still love him, even though he's been dead for 7 years now. Oh, if Rogelio were alive, Carlos wouldn't have dared. Don't worry, dear. We'll manage. It's always easier together. Anna listened to her mother's endless stream of words. She missed this talk so much. Endless stories about neighbors and relatives, some crazy past stories, state-level gossip. Isabel never missed an opportunity to express her opinion on any topic. Anna didn't even notice when she fell asleep. She woke up in the morning still lying on the kitchen sofa covered with a blanket. Realizing where she was, she immediately got up and looked around for Miguel, leaving the kitchen silently. She headed to her old room, but there was no one there. She knocked on her mother's bedroom door. A minute later, she heard the sound of the doorknob turning. Why aren't you sleeping? Isabel asked groggily. I've lost sight of Miguel, Anna whispered. He's with you. Yes, he's still sleeping. Where else could he be? And you go. It's still early. I'm resting, Mom. All right, rest. I'll go prepare breakfast. Anna went to the bathroom to freshen up, then began preparing breakfast. So many memories were tied to this kitchen over the years. Almost nothing had changed here. Even the trays were still neatly arranged on top. Anna smiled and began making pancakes. It was her son's favorite dish, and as she remembered, her mother never refused to eat pancakes. Isabel could cook anything, but pancakes were never her forte. A bunch of steaming pancakes piled up on the plate when Miguel ran to the kitchen. "It smells delicious," the child exclaimed, grabbing a pancake. "Did you wash your hands?" Ana asked with a stern look. Yes, Miguel wrinkled his nose. "I brushed my teeth. Grandma made me, but I didn't want to." "Good job, Grandma. She won't give you a break. Remember, she's not as nice as I am." The child responded with a smile. "Grandma is nice today. We'll go for a walk with her." "Very well. How did you sleep last night?" "Well," Miguel responded, "I didn't wake up once last night. Grandma read me fairy tales and I fell asleep quickly. But where is she? All the pancakes are cold." "Ana, no." His phrase was interrupted by a phone call. "Hello," Ana answered. Although the number was unknown, a cheerful female voice arrived. "My name is Sofia Ortiz. I'm from Alpha Corp. You've been helping us with the accounting, right?" "Yes," Ana replied. "Is there a problem?" "Ana, I know you're working remotely and it's not part of your contract, but we've had an emergency situation. Our main accountant had an accident and is in intensive care right now, and we have an audit. Could you come and help with the documentation? We'll pay you well." "Yes, of course." Even Ana felt nervous. "I can come in an hour." "Oh, thank you so much. You'll be our savior." Ana hung up the phone and looked out the window, feeling perplexed. "Daughter, do you need to go somewhere?" Isabel asked as she appeared at the door. "Yes, I received an urgent work call. Don't worry, the two of us will have a lot of fun with Miguel. We'll even stop by the pharmacy. I need to buy him a new inhaler. The one I have barely sprays." "Oh, thank you so much, Mom, and I've made some pancakes." "All right, you two eat, and I'll prepare quickly." Ana took the bus to the Alpha Corp office. She hadn't used public transportation in many years, so she took it at rush hour. She was genuinely surprised by the crowd rushing toward her at the bus stop. After walking a couple of blocks, Ana stopped in front of a huge business center, entered the marble-clad lobby, and asked the guard where to go. Upon reaching the 7th floor, she entered a spacious reception area filled with tropical plants. "Hello," she greeted the receptionist. "My name is Ana. I'm here to see Sofia." "Yes, yes," the receptionist responded enthusiastically, leaning over the desk. "They're already waiting for you. Let me take you in." Together, they walked down a long hallway lined with office doors with golden nameplates. "This way for you," the receptionist said, knocking on one of the doors. Ana entered, and a tall woman stood up from behind the desk to greet her. "I'm so glad you could come," exclaimed the office manager. "We talked this morning. My name is Sofia. I'm the deputy financial director. It's a tragedy for us. We know Ramona Flores won't recover. Can you imagine? She came back from her country house yesterday and had a head-on collision. Why do people go to those country houses? Everyone's gone crazy. It's their season." "Well, those things can happen anytime, even in the city," Ana said uncomfortably. "You're right," Sofia nodded. "Anyway, what's done is done. I'll take you to her office, and David Vicente will inform you about the situation. David is our financial director, my immediate boss. He always has disheveled hair for some reason." She laughed. "Sofia, we have an audit coming up, and then this happens. It's okay, we'll resolve it." Ana nodded and followed the woman to the main accountant's office. "Very well. Now I'll enter the password for you, and the folder with all the necessary documents is on the desk. Have you done calculations for us before?" "Yes, and I've talked to Ramona. I'll wait for David and then start working. I'll bring you some coffee. Tell Laura not to hesitate," the woman offered. "No thanks. I just had breakfast." Ana shook her head and stayed alone in the office. With a slight sense of envy, she examined her surroundings. The interior decoration of the office indicated that the company was doing exceptionally well. Expensive solid oak furniture, leather armchairs, high-quality decorations, and ubiquitous tropical plants. The view from the window was impressive. She could see a pond and a large park around it. "Yes, I'd love to work in a place like this," Ana thought. The workload is undoubtedly considerable, but the salary is fair, and the atmosphere seems very friendly. At first glance, you can feel it as soon as you enter the office. Her thoughts were interrupted by the sound of the door opening. A man entered the office, his face lit up with a broad smile. "Hello, Anna," he extended his hand toward her. "My name is David. I oversee all the finances here." Looking at this man, Anna immediately understood why Sophia had laughed strangely when the director's hair stood on end. David was completely bald, but it suited him well. The director seemed to be around 40 years old, wearing an elegant blue suit and thin gold-framed glasses. His handshake was warm and firm. Anna had heard somewhere that you could accurately determine a man's character by his handshake, if you believe that theory. David was a reliable person with strong convictions, as well as being very careful and considerate. "Very well, let me show you what needs to be done." Poor Ramona. Who would have thought everything would end like this? "I told her to quit her garden, and he's the same," Anna said. She smiled to herself. "Seems like they have a real family environment here. Everyone cares about each other. I've only talked to this Ramona on the phone, but even I have the feeling that someone close to them is in trouble." David quickly briefed Anna on the documents, assigned her a series of tasks, and then returned to his office. She got to work, not even realizing it was time for lunch. Anna didn't even notice when it was time to eat. David poked his head into the office. "Still not gone crazy with all these numbers? It's time for lunch." "Oh no, I'm hungry," the woman shook her head. "I don't want to waste extra time. I want to finish faster." No, the man pointed his finger at her. "You're helping us so much that it would be simply rude not to invite you to lunch. Besides, you shouldn't skip meals. I know a good place right across the street, a very cozy cafe. They make the most incredible pasta. An Italian is the chef. So get ready, my treat." Anna was about to refuse, but her stomach betrayed her with a loud growl that didn't go unnoticed by David. The woman blushed deeply. See, the director tried to immediately soften the awkwardness. You can't deceive your body. It knows better what it needs. "All right, Anna," she laughed. "I like how friendly this person is with me. You discovered me." Together, they went downstairs to the cafe. On the way, David told her about how the business center was built, how to better reach the park if she just wanted to enjoy nature during lunch, and many other casual facts. "We're here," he cheerfully announced, stopping under the restaurant sign. "I promise you'll like it, and if not, then I'll have to challenge the chef to a duel, since my promises will be questioned." The hostess greeted David like an old friend, accompanied them to a secluded table, and brought them the menu. "It's pretty expensive here," Anna felt embarrassed, flipping through the elegant menu brochure. "I definitely can't afford something like this for myself. What are you worried about? I'll invite you. I'll order whatever you want. A beautiful woman deserves to be treated," insisted David. Anna felt deeply embarrassed. She had gotten so used to hearing about her mother's stories that at first, she even thought the man was just teasing her. Apparently, noticing her embarrassment, he immediately spoke up. "Please forgive my lack of tact. You might be married, and here I am, big guy. It's nothing personal, it's just the truth, and I was taught that lying isn't good." "All right," Anna smiled timidly. "Oh, I understand. Some bald fool is bothering you. Don't be ashamed, please. If you don't like it, I promise not to do it again." He intervened. No, it's okay." Anna hurried to calm him down. "I just got used to not hearing stories. I don't know why I'm telling you all this, but it's true. Since you're honest with me, I'll be honest with you. How can you get used to not hearing stories?" "You're married, yes." "For now, yes, for now." David was surprised. "I'm in the process of getting a divorce." "He's so dumb," Anna exclaimed. "Oh God, why am I telling you all this?" "Keep going. I'm interested." "All right, Anna," she sighed. "My husband and I lived together for 6 years. We had Miguel, and recently Carlos declared that we mean nothing to him and simply kicked us out of the apartment. Now I live with my mom. I need to get a divorce, but I don't even know where to start. Honestly, I'm very scared that Carlos will take my son away, and he doesn't even want him. You understand personally, I don't understand how something like this could happen, but he could do it out of spite and ruin the child's life forever." "Wait a minute, why would he take the child? The law is on your side here. Don't worry prematurely." but I don't understand how they could live together for so long and end everything like this. He cheated on you, didn't he? Anna nervously shook her head. I wish he had, honestly. It would have been better if he had. Then I wouldn't be in a state of confusion. I don't know what happened. My mom says someone put a curse on us, but that sounds so absurd. Of course, there's no need to be superstitious. Usually problems are right on the surface, but we prefer to ignore them. I don't know what Carlos was thinking, but in my opinion, he's just a fool. I don't want to badmouth him. The woman raised a hand. I'm sorry, it wasn't my intention. I was just surprised by this situation. Don't worry about it. All right, let's talk about something else. Can I call you by your name? Anna, yes, of course. Then tell me, Anna, will you be able to help us with the audit until Ramona returns? I understand this might go against your plans, but we'll pay well. Of course, I hope for the best, but Ramona won't be back in action anytime soon. An audit is a serious matter. Finding someone to replace her now and catching up is simply unrealistic. We didn't want to bother you, but Ramona spoke very highly of your work, didn't she? Anna was surprised. Absolutely, you helped a lot. That's why I'm offering you all this. I'm not sure. The woman was puzzled. This is very serious. Who knows what could happen? Ramona was carrying the books. She was an exemplary employee. You probably saw it yourself. Yes, it's absolutely remarkable how a person can handle such a workload. We have other part-time accountants like you, but Ramona really doesn't trust anyone. They are there just to do the small things. She's a traditional woman. It's not easy to get along with her, and much less earn the respect of someone like her. Are you saying I've earned it? Yes, I'm surprised myself at how quickly you achieved it. Apparently, you're a truly outstanding specialist. Anna felt herself blush again. I didn't nail the compliment again. David laughed playfully. No, not at all. On the contrary, it's very nice to hear. I just love my job. Not many people can immerse themselves completely in numbers, but I knew from the beginning, even when I was finishing university, that my whole life would be related to them. Marriage and having a child, of course, led to a forced pause, but now I'm back in action. Then you accept my offer, why not? Anna smiled. Besides, I really need the money right now. It would be silly to refuse such a lucrative side job. That's great. Anna had been working at Alpha Corp for the second week. The audit was in full swing, but the accounting was in perfect order. Moreover, Anna managed to find common ground with a strict woman named Jacinta Fuentes, which greatly simplified the entire process. They went together to the cafe for coffee, shared parenting secrets, and when Jacinta's daughter had been asthmatic since childhood, they found even more in common. Every day, David took Anna to lunch. At first, the woman was very embarrassed, but gradually she got over it, and when they were paid for the first week of work, she herself invited David to a restaurant. The place is so unusually big that Anna even called the bank to find out who the sender was. Another accountant handled the payroll at Alpha Corp. Anna also visited him and then checked everything with her own records. There were no errors. God thought the woman cheerfully. What a pleasant surprise. I was expecting to be well paid, but not that much. At this rate, I won't be able to send Miguel to the sea with his mom. Now I'll have to work even harder. All good things come to an end. They can't keep me here forever. Ramona will recover soon and return, and in the best case, I'll get occasional jobs. But it's nothing to worry about. Now I can get good recommendations and find a permanent position, especially because David treats me well. I think he'll easily recommend me to someone. David knocked on his office door after the money was credited to her account. Today I want to break the pattern. What's that? Exclaimed David admiringly when he saw Anna's burning eyes. Don't laugh, she pouted. I just want to return your kindness of inviting you to lunch myself. Today I'll pay. Really? David raised his eyebrows. I suppose you've already collected your salary. You know, Anna, I really appreciate your initiative, but let me follow our established tradition. We'll go to lunch as always, like true gentlemen. I just can't allow a lady to pay, and you better keep the money and treat your little son with something. No objections accepted. I'll be waiting in the lobby in 20 minutes. Oh God, how the day passes so quickly. All right, Anna. She reluctantly accepted and left through the door. Daily meetings at the cafe allowed the woman to get to know David better. She was divorced with a daughter named Nora, born during her marriage, who was currently studying abroad, barely communicating with her father but dutifully accepting the money he provided for her education. David maintained strictly friendly relationships with his ex-wife, Marina, forgiving her failed romance but never trying to rekindle it, even though Marina tried in every way to get him back. David was a workaholic, sparing no effort for his beloved job, and after the divorce, he even began returning home around midnight. In many aspects, Alpha Corp owed its success to him. David easily established connections, immediately earning the trust of potential partners. The man's charm knew no bounds. He didn't know limits, big deals, lucrative contracts, victories and bids. David easily resolved any problem, which was highly appreciated by the company's management. He often represented the firm at interurban and international exhibitions. He wasn't afraid to take on greater responsibility and risk, but David himself felt he was slowly giving up. The psychologist the man began visiting after the divorce advised him to replenish his energy in any possible way to avoid professional burnout. David tried everything: yoga, swimming, running, even rock climbing and ceramics, but all this helped little. David became a lonely person, desperately missing a close companion. Of course, I don't have close ones. I trusted Anna. My parents are still, thank God, alive and healthy. My younger brother is making his way in business, and eventually my daughter. But there's no one to talk to. You can't imagine how much I want to come home early from work, be greeted by a loved one with a warm smile who just hugs me and asks how my day was. It seems like such a small thing, but only now I realize it's what I miss the most. I'm lucky. Anna returns, and her son runs to her. "Mommy, I missed you." "Yes, that's right," Anna nodded, smiling. "And probably your mom is calling you immediately to the table. She treats you with all kinds of cakes." "Well, sometimes it happens, of course. Although more often than not, I end up making the cakes myself. Mom is always busy with her translations. It's easier for her to order takeout than to cook dinner." Well, imagine how much time has passed since I ate homemade cakes. Marina used to bake a lot when she was young, but then she left it all. Once the money started coming in, Mom never got along well with the stove. Dad used to cook, but now he doesn't need. Mom has arthritis. "Have you ever tried cooking yourself?" Anna asked. "It's very easy to learn. There are so many recipes on the internet." "No, that's not for me. I'm the kind of person who won't do anything just for myself. It's easier for me to go to a restaurant. Fortunately, the budget allows it. If I were cooking for someone, it would be different, but there's no one." "Why don't you find someone for yourself?" Anna asked directly. "A man like you, and just that, it's even strange. I bet women are flocking to you." "All that is true, but these hordes of predators are more interested in my wallet and my new status. You won't get cakes from them." "I don't want that. I'm tired of life with Marina. It wasn't a walk in the park, but it gave me a daughter. But now I'm definitely not going to tie my life to another empty shell and decent women who have long been engaged." David sighed deeply. "They bake cakes for their husbands, right?" "That's all, Anna," she laughed. "I can't stand seeing this torture anymore like you." "David, you refused lunch. I invite you to dinner. Let's do it on the weekend. I'll be free then, and I'll bake some cakes for you." "Are you serious?" Santiago almost choked. "Absolutely. How could I ignore you?" "Let's say call for help. Come, we live modestly, but I can feed you better than that restaurant." From early in the morning, Anna worked in the kitchen, prepared the dough, and made various fillings. "Why did you decide to bake cakes?" Isabel asked, approaching her daughter and tasting the contents of each bowl one by one. "Today, a guest is coming," Anna responded mysteriously, almost humming. "A guest?" Her mother was surprised. "Did you meet someone and immediately decide to bring him with cakes?" "Oh, Anna, you haven't even finalized your divorce yet, and you're already involved in something new here." "Well, Mom, first of all, the divorce process has already started, and Carlos hasn't even called me during all this time to ask about Miguel's well-being. There's no turning back. Secondly, I haven't found anyone for myself. It's like Anna looked at the plates, a gesture of goodwill. So to speak. My boss complained that she hasn't eaten homemade cakes in years. He feeds me lunch every day. I should do something to thank him, shouldn't I? No, boss, you say. Young, married, stop it. Anna gestured with her hand. I don't see it as a man. We just became friends during these weeks I've been helping him with the accounting. He's a very nice but lonely person. So he's not married? Isabel asked. No, Mom, he's not married. He divorced a long time ago, but that's irrelevant. Well, no, Isabel rolled her eyes. If you say he's a good person, you shouldn't miss him. You're so funny. Why are you saying that? Because Anna couldn't help it. Even if I find him attractive, it doesn't mean he feels the same way about me. Do you think it's easy to attract a man like that? We talked about many things, and he definitely doesn't want to commit after a failed marriage. And besides, his mother asked eagerly, he's bald, Mom? Is it possible that I like a bald man? Don't make me laugh. If being bald means producing a lot of testosterone, then in bed it's great, Mom. That's enough. What, the bed? I just want to return the kindness with kindness, and here you are starting to develop romantic novels. You know, daughter, love him or not, but at least you should dress up a bit before the guest arrives today. Sorry, but forgive me. You don't look very good. Put on some lipstick, curl your hair, don't act like Carlos. Mom, Anna replied, it's my business how I look. After all, this person, David, just comes to eat. He definitely doesn't care how I look, although he might be the only one who has complimented me, calling me beautiful in recent years. Look and say he has no feelings for you. That was just courtesy. You've distorted everything again. And by the way, back then, she didn't even wear makeup. That's all. No, my bad. Better preheat the oven and where's Miguel? I sat him down to draw. You know, your son has talent. At 5 years old, he could only scribble, and he's pretty good at it. Well, go and spend time with him. I can handle this alone, or you'll eat all the filling. Look, there's barely any ground beef left. All right, her mother laughed, reconciliatory, leaving the kitchen for the night. Everything was ready. Anna slept and decided to follow her mother's advice and put on makeup. She simply applied lipstick and mascara, deciding to limit herself to that in terms of clothing. She decided not to worry too much about attire, wearing a simple shirt and jeans, and pulling her hair back into a high ponytail. Looking at herself in the mirror, Anna was satisfied. She was surprised, thinking she wanted to impress David. She didn't scold herself. That's going too far. What am I trying to compete with? Even with the girl from her reception, they have models working there. I've lost a bit of weight, sure, but I'm still not a beauty, and if I dress up now, he might think I'm trying to cling to him in no way. This is just a dinner, nothing more. Around 6 o'clock, the doorbell rang. Anna took a deep breath and turned the key. David was standing at the entrance, holding a large box in his hands. Good evening, he greeted. I decided to bring a small gift for Miguel. It's not appropriate to come empty-handed, and here is coffee for you and your mom. Oh, thank you, Anna. She blushed. It wasn't necessary. It smells delicious. David pointed, inhaling deeply. Oh. Anna realized why they were standing there. Why are we standing here? Come in quickly, my family. He's driving me crazy with these pancakes, and I'm strict. I don't allow temptations before dinner. I never would have thought you'd be strict. David laughed. Anna accompanied the man to the kitchen where Isabel and Miguel were already waiting. Let me introduce you to the guest, the woman introduced. Mr. David, call me just David. I don't like this formality, especially in a family setting. And this is for you. The man handed the box to the child, Boyo. Miguel, embarrassed, hesitated to accept a gift from a stranger. Don't be afraid, David laughed. It's a building game. Your mom said you really love these things. Thank you, Miguel reached for the box. Look at your mom and your grandma alternately. Take it. Take it. Isabel smiled. Why are you embarrassed? After the introductions, everyone sat at the table, and the conversation began to flow immediately. It turned out that David and Isabel had many interests in common. They animatedly discussed some obscure writers and society gossip, while Anna simply laughed. watching her mother and the director interrupt each other to share their opinions. "You have a wonderful family," David commented as he was about to leave. Anna felt a great relief when she just sat in the kitchen, surrounded by nice people, and Miguel liked the gift. As soon as he unwrapped that building game, he said, "Yes, he loves it." The woman smiled that, "Thank you, I also enjoyed it." "You know what, Anna, I have a proposal for you. Will you come on Monday?" "Yes, there are some documents I still need to finish. Come by my office immediately, okay?" "All right, Anna," she nodded. "Take care. Goodbye." When Anna closed the door behind the guest, her heart pounded furiously. She was surprised, thinking she felt something more than simple sympathy or professional interest toward this man. "Well, your eyes are practically shining," her mother's voice almost whispered in her ear. "Oh my God, Mom, why do you scare me like this?" Anna jumped. "Honey, let's be honest. Do you like him?" "What are you talking about?" "Oh, I saw how you looked at him, and clearly he isn't indifferent to you either, Mom. We're just colleagues and not for long. I'm finishing my work at his company next week, and most likely we won't even see each other again. And here you are starting with this." "No, don't rush to conclusions, my daughter." Anna was awakened by the doorbell. "Who's there?" she asked her sleepy mother. "Already," since Isabel had already opened the door. Deliver, but I didn't order anything. I don't know, they mentioned our address and your name, so I let them in a minute later." The messenger rang the doorbell. Anna opened it and froze in place. The boy was holding a magnificent bouquet that didn't even fit through the door. "This is for you," he smiled, the messenger to me. "Anna, yes." "Then definitely for you." In a state of complete shock, Anna took the bouquet to the apartment. "Wow," her mother exclaimed, surprised. "It's from your David." "He isn't my David, Mom." "Oh, there's a note. Let's see." After delivering the flowers to Isabel, Anna unfolded the note. "Don't consider it imprudence, but this is the least I could do for such a wonderful woman like you, David." And indeed, from him and his mother, she looked impatiently over her daughter's shoulder, but the bouquet was in the way. "Mom, put the flowers in a vase, please." "Yes, it's from him, and now don't tell me there's no spark between you two." Receiving such a gift made Anna feel uncomfortable. Of course, the flowers didn't mean anything, especially as a gesture of gratitude. At night, they were quite appropriate, but the content of the note moved her much more deeply. For such a wonderful woman, Anna repeated to herself, "Dreamer, he's talking about me. No, I won't let myself get carried away by emotions right now. All this is strange. We haven't known each other for a long time, and he's already started courting, especially because he would need someone like me, so worn out and with a son. It's just courtesy, nothing more." All day, Anna couldn't calm down. David even called her once, but didn't find the courage to answer. The next morning, the woman arrived at the office and went straight to David's office. David formally began, "Good morning. Thank you so much for the bouquet. My mom and I loved the flowers. Thank God, I was so worried about what would happen if someone had an allergy, especially Miguel with his asthma. But I couldn't help sending this modest gift." Anna almost laughed. "These are the best flowers I've ever received. I can't even imagine how much a bouquet like this could cost." "Here you go again, talking about money. I would never have allowed something like this," Anna said, feeling embarrassed. "All right, let's leave that for later. Now I want to talk to you about something else." "And what is that?" "Well, Ramona was severely injured in an accident. Her rehabilitation period will be long. I met with her husband recently. He says it's unlikely she'll be able to return to work in the short term. And if that's the case, I want to offer you the position of chief accountant at our company." "Seriously, Anna?" "Yes, I'm amazed. You've excelled and gotten along well with Jacinta, and I must say it's a great achievement. So what do you say? Are you in?" The woman hesitated. "Do you think I can handle it?" "If I didn't believe it, I wouldn't have offered it. Consider that you have successfully completed your trial period over the past 2 weeks and haven't skimmed on the salary. Here's the contract. Read it. If there's anything you're not happy with, we'll discuss it immediately. Then you can go straight to HR and sign everything. You can start tomorrow." Anna nervously swallowed, scanning the contract. pausing a bit more on the line that indicated the salary. "Everything's fine?" she asked. "Yes," responded David, stammering. "Tell me, can I start tomorrow?" "Yes, as usual at 9 in the same office. We'll change the ID badge today after finishing the paperwork." Anna nodded and left David's office. Somehow she reached her newly designated workspace. She quickly finished her work and was about to leave when she suddenly bumped into the director at the door. Anna began suggestively, "There's something more you wanted to say. I know I might be rushing, but I feel good and comfortable with you. You know, sometimes you feel a kindred spirit in someone. I haven't felt that in a long time, so I'm hardly mistaken. Please give me a chance. Let's go out to dinner tonight if you're not busy." "Of course," David replied. "I think the same. That means yes." "Yes, Anna," she smiled. "See you tonight. I'll ask my mom to take care of Miguel, okay?" "I'll come pick you up," David said. Anna returned home in complete euphoria. She couldn't have dreamed that her attraction to David would be mutual. On the way, she stopped at the store to buy herself a dress and some shoes. Her mother carefully watched as her daughter applied makeup, even exclaiming surprise, "Where are you going, Mom?" "Just don't say anything right now, okay?" David invited her out tonight. "Thanks to God," Isabel exclaimed, and began examining the new dress. Anna had been dating David for almost 2 months. He suggested that she and Miguel move in with him, but Anna persuaded him to wait until after the divorce. She quickly adapted to her new job and was able to save a decent amount of money from her salary for her son's medical treatment. She also hired a lawyer to ensure a positive outcome in the divorce process. She had no intention of handing Miguel over to her husband. It was a Saturday morning when the doorbell rang. Anna wasn't expecting David. He had just called saying he would be busy until the afternoon at a corporate picnic where some important partners were supposed to come. Anna used to avoid such events, preferring to spend time at home with her son. She opened the door. Carlos was standing there holding a small bouquet of roses. "Hello," he said, looking down. "You look great." "Hello," Anna's words stuck in her throat out of surprise. "Thank you. What are you doing here? Or rather, why did you come at all?" "Anna, we need to talk," Carlos growled. He frowned his lips. This gesture was a clear sign that the man felt guilty. "Yes, what is it about?" he replied sarcastically. "The messenger," the woman said. "You came to find out the trial date. It's in a week. You should have received the papers." "Listen," the man sighed. "Anna, forgive me. I've acted like a complete fool. I've already forgiven you a long time ago. That's all." The woman was about to close the door. No, everything, Carlos." He looked directly into Anna's eyes. Anna noticed tears. "Anna, let's start over, I beg you. I don't know how to make it right, but I promise to do everything for it." "Go ahead," he said. "Where are these sudden changes coming from?" "Let me in." "Oh, here we go again. I told you there's nothing between us anymore. When you kicked us out, you ended everything yourself." "What relationship renewal are you talking about? Where have you been all this time? It seems like you don't care anymore." "And now I feel terrible without you, Anna. You're my family. I was a fool. I'm sorry and I want to try everything again." "Well, hello," Anna laughs. "We haven't seen or heard from each other for 2 months. And now it seems when the divorce is a week away, I needed time to realize everything. I had problems. I got into debt. That's why I dumped you. Forgive me, dear, and you couldn't tell me your problems before. Now you talk about family, but back then, instead of sharing with someone close, you vented your anger on her. Do you think that's okay?" "No, Carlos, you've shown your true face now. No matter how much you try to soften things, you won't get my forgiveness. Or rather, I don't hold a grudge, but we can't be together anymore." "But why?" Carlos asked heatedly, moving forward. Anna barely managed to step back, blocking her husband's way with the door. "Why?" "Because now I'm truly happy. Now I have a good job that gives us great opportunities with Miguel. Now I have a loved one who treats me with respect and doesn't criticize me for anything. And unlike you, he doesn't blame me for money. He's the idiot of the neighborhood. He took you for a walk last night. You settled quickly. You were following me. I have a right for now. You're my wife, not for long, only 1 week left. And now I'm asking you not to bother me anymore. I'm happy with someone else, and there's no turning back for you. You yourself destroyed everything we have. We don't appreciate it. We cry when we lose it. Isn't that what they say? And now I don't care about your matters at all. Live as you want and don't waste money on an unloved woman and an unloved son. Anna screamed, "Carlos!" But the woman had already closed the door in his face. She was furious. Her heart raced as Carlos kept calling and knocking, but she simply moved away from the door. Thank God, Leonel and Mom went to a friend's dacha. At least we didn't have to see all this, she thought. Can you believe the audacity, the nerve to ask for forgiveness? Just like that, really? It's so simple. First you hurt someone, drag them through the mud, and then you appear as if nothing happened. No flowers waving their tails. In no way does his life concern me anymore. That's for sure. Anna was distracted by the sound of an incoming message. She unlocked her phone. The screen showed a short message. I love you. I'll be back in the afternoon. It's boring here without you. Anna smiled. All her irritation disappeared with those simple words. A few minutes later, the knocking on the door stopped. Thank you for watching our video. We would greatly appreciate it if you subscribe to our channel, give this video a like, and leave a comment letting us know where you're watching from. Your support means a lot to us and helps us continue creating quality content. We look forward to seeing you in the next video.